Hey, what's up? It's Wick for WickieMedia Tutorials, and today I'm going to sidechain a kick drum with an oscillator to give it a really nice bump in the low end. So what do you need for this? You need to have the kick drum on a separate track. We need to have one track which is available to put a oscillator on, and we need to have a gate with a sidechain input. Those are the three things that we're going to be needing today. I'm not going to use any EQ. It's just going to be sidechaining a gate. We can have an analog oscillator, an analog gate, so we can completely do this on an analog board. So it's not limited just to the digital domain. So what I've got loaded up is I've got two tracks. I'm using Cubase again today. I've got two tracks. On the top here, I've got a kick drum, and then I've got a second track with an oscillator on it. And you can see that right here. This is the oscillator that comes with Cubase. I think Logic should have one, and Pro Tools has one, so you should be able to get that anywhere. And if you're working with Reason, you can use a synthesizer and just go with the default sine wave. So you should be able to completely follow along in any type of host. Below that, I've got a gate, and this gate I've turned on the sidechain input, so it's going to get triggered by the kick drum. So every time the level of the kick drum exceeds the threshold that I've set on this gate, it's going to let through the sound on this channel, which is actually this test generator sound. I'm just going to turn off the gate and let you hear the frequency. I'm going to use, let's use just a simple A note and go for the 220 Hertz or 330, so most of your speakers will be able to hear it. So here I've got a 330 Hertz. I'm going to disable the gate, so you can hear it's just doing that. Then I've got this kick drum track on which I've made an auxiliary send, and that is now being sent to the gate's sidechain input. So every time that the level exceeds the threshold, it's going to open up the gate for me. So let's play this back. Every time that this peak exceeds this threshold of the gate, it's going to let through this sound. That's how simple that it is. So let's change this to something more interesting, and let's go to 40 Hertz. Go to that really deep end. And you need to listen to this on headphones or on really decent studio monitors, or else you're probably not going to hear that low frequencies, because probably a laptop or some cheap earbuds won't be able to reproduce that low frequency. So now I'm going to play back this 40 Hertz, triggered by the gate and the kick. And that really thickens it up. I've routed them both to this group track in which I've inserted just a frequency analyzer. So let me just play the regular kick drum. You can see it's really adding this 40 Hertz, give that bump right here. Well, you can completely tune this to your song and to your liking and to what your track needs. So if 40 doesn't really go well with your bass line, then you could maybe try out 42, 43. Just play around till you get the right frequency. And if you go completely crazy, you can tune your kick drum depending on what frequency that your song is playing. So you can actually make exactly a kick drum sound in tune with your song if that's what you're looking for. We can even shape this sine wave by changing the attack, the hold, and the release time of this gate. The whole time we'll make sure that the gate will remain open for this amount of milliseconds. So this way you can definitely make your sound longer. And we can also play around with the release to give it a longer till, a longer fade out time. And the attack is basically the fade in time. So if we put this all the way down, it probably opens a little bit too fast. Could get some spikes. So a little bit of an attack of 10 to 50 milliseconds will definitely work a lot better. So now it's kind of short. We can increase this till so we can make the release longer. So you get the possibilities of what we can do here. If you really don't have an oscillator in your software, you can still import a complete sine wave into an empty channel and do it that way. So now I've got just a track with a pure sine wave on it. as you can see. So I can actually just insert a gate on there. So now I've just got a pure sine wave with a gate on it. I can select that sidechain input, go to the send on the kick drum channel, and send it to the sidechain on this sine wave channel. So now I'm doing the same thing. Now it's constantly triggered by everything, so you can play around with the threshold if it doesn't open correctly. And make that release a bit shorter. I can make this channel a little bit softer to blend it a little bit more. I don't even have to do anything really by EQing, because that doesn't make sense. I've already got a 55 Hertz tone, so I just need to blend it in. So it's a real simple technique which really thickens my my kick drum, as you can see right here. Alright, this was an extra tutorial for this week. I hope you've enjoyed it, and let me know if there's any more stuff that you want to know. Please check out some of my other tutorials. I got interesting stuff about compressors and gates and whatnot. So I hope you've learned something today, and hope to see y'all soon. Peace!